Let me ask you something. Wouldn't it be incredible if those gut feelings, the dreams, the moments that feel like they are just a little bit different, but you can't quite pinpoint what they are, were actually something more? Today, I'm sitting down with Allie Devine, the first medium I ever visited and one of my very first mentors, and we're getting into all of it. What this gift really feels like, how to trust it, and setting boundaries with spirit so it doesn't impact your life, and why she says we're never supposed to fully understand mediumship and how it works. All right, let's dive in. Okay, hello, Allie, and welcome to Energetically Speaking. I'm so excited to have you on today.
I was thrilled when I got the invite. I couldn't believe it. I was like, yay. So yeah, I'm nervous, but excited nervous. So thank you so much.
Yes, I'm so excited because you really were like my first mentor. You're the first medium I had ever been to, but you were also like my first mentor when I started kind of navigating my abilities as well. So
that's great. Yeah, and you've come a long way, and you have said we all, I think, have such a long way to go because we never learn at all.
Yeah,
you know?
It's always like a constant like learning role. Like you're always learning for me, you're always learning like every reading, you're learning something new. So.
Oh, I agree. And have you found out too that it applies a lot to your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Yeah. There's like repeat cycles. I've noticed like in certain readings, there'll be like lessons or like patterns in my own life that's going on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's
I call that like mirror effect. And when we catch it, sometimes I don't. Yeah. Then it has to happen again. Because we are all learning.
Yes. Yep. All the time. So I'm going to go ahead and just start honestly with the first question that comes to mind is, how does your mediumship work for you in the best way that you can explain it? And let me ask you this too, because you call yourself a messenger. Am I right?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I prefer messenger just because I hear things, see things, feel things, and I put it all together and then I deliver it.
Yeah. How does it work for you? So are you more clairvoyant, more clairaudient, or do you feel more?
I was afraid you was going to say that. Obviously, you're better schooled in a lot of this lingo, I guess, than I am. Okay. Honestly, it always starts, the only way I can describe it is like it starts as a feeling. And then automatically that feeling will go right to a quick vision. Okay. Now, when I say vision, you'll understand this, but I don't know if all the listeners will. It will be here.
Yes.
Okay. And then sometimes I will actually see it with my eyes.
Yes.
And then I will hear it as well.
Yeah.
But it always starts with that feeling.
Yeah. It's like that third eye. Like I always try to explain it to people when I say I see things. I like to tell them, imagine a purple elephant. There's not one physically standing in your room, but you can imagine it. And then I say, now imagine it standing in your room. And, it's still not there, but that's kind of how I've learned to be able to explain how it is I see it. So that's
perfect. I like that.
Yeah. So that feeling, it really resonates with me because I feel a lot too. You can kind of feel it starting to come in, and then it kind of works from there. So
that's right.
Very interesting. So why do you prefer, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but why do you prefer to be called a messenger over a medium or psychic?
Mainly because I've never saw myself as a psychic, but I guess that I shouldn't be that way, because I always tell people don't jump the gun and don't, when I think of a psychic, I think of a card reader. Okay. So it's all about, to me, association. Okay. So I associate the word psychic with a card reader or a palmist or something like that. But anyway, that's the main reason. And as far as mediums go, I guess it's because I grew up watching those TV shows, where the medium's sitting there and in walks this person, and it's like, that doesn't happen to me. It does, but not in that way. So I just chose
Yeah, that's something I really struggled with when I first started was I was watching
Hmm.
all these other mediums and I was like,
Yes.
well, I'm not, walking through a store and just seeing people everywhere and having people,
Hmm.
walk up to
Not
me all the
yet.
time. So
Not yet.
yeah, but I struggled because I wasn't getting it the way other mediums were and I
Hmm.
recognized that every single medium, every single messenger, channel, psychic truly is completely unique and their
Hmm.
style of reading is so unique. And that's
It
something I've
is.
tried to explain to other beginner mediums is
Hmm.
that you might resonate off of other mediums and what they're doing, but
Hmm.
truly it's going to be completely unique to you and you
It,
alone.
it will, and it will find you.
Yeah.
And, and if I will say too, or if I can say, I truly don't think anyone's better than the other. I
Yeah.
think we all work differently, just like we all brush our teeth differently, I guess, even though it's a simple task and it's the same task.
Yes.
I may start on the right, you may start on the left, or you see what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and we have to find that comfort zone.
Yeah.
That is so important.
Yeah. It Mine it comes from the right. So does yours have a preference
Oh
as well when
gosh.
you read? Do you kind of go from the right or the left?
Mine will come from the left if, and I figured this out not long ago. Okay. Mine will come from the left if it is a past loved one who is really trying to come through strongly.
Okay.
And the neat thing is it'll come from the left, but then the goosebumps, as you I'm sure are well aware of, will come on the right. Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I found like if it's an angel message, because I don't want people to think that I'm looking at their angels, I'm seeing no, I'm feeling them and I can see them, but I'm not seeing their face. They come in on the right.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I haven't quite navigated. I know loved ones come to me on my right side, and then I will actually get spirit guides from behind me. And when I'm doing
Oh.
more like channeled psychic work, I hesitate
Hmm.
to use the word psychic because I don't believe that we can accurately predict the future. I believe the future is
I
fluid for
agree.
everyone. And
I
so I
agree.
always like to say, if you like a disclaimer, make sure when you're going
Hmm.
to a psychic or a medium that you know that your future is yours to
That's
decide
right.
and no one can tell you
That's right.
your future, those predictions. But
Hmm. I
when I
agree.
do that energy work, that more like psychic, but I like to call it energy work, to blend energies with the person I'm reading, it really
Hmm.
comes from the front of me, which is I have found interesting as well.
That is interesting. I mean, I get basically like you said from all sides, but sometimes I, I don't question enough. I just sort of jump in.
Hmm.
So it took me a long time to figure out what the left side was versus the right
Yeah,
or what. And I wish it came with a handbook, you know, but
it'd be
it
a lot easier.
doesn't. Yeah, I had to like, okay, guys. So I did, and I loved the fact how you said, but the behind the spirit guides
Hmm.
because I had a flash when you said that of, I'm like, oh, I've never had that done. I'm like, oh yeah, I have. And then it clicked,
Yeah.
because like if I'm doing a task or if I'm reading someone, sometimes I will get a message for myself. Okay. Whether it be from one of my past loved ones or from my angels, it right back here.
Yeah.
And I take that as we've got you, we're watching you, we're there.
Yeah.
I got your back, so to speak.
Yeah. I like that. So when you are giving a reading, do you have a certain structure for your readings or do you start a certain way or is it different for every single reading?
Well, one, I'm a very unstructured person. I fly, unfortunately, by the seat of my pants with every waking moment of my life, which probably is not good. But Claire, you've been to my house, you get it. And the first thing is I try to do, it's kind of like the disclaimer that you was describing.
Hmm.
Mine's a little different. I always tell people how I work, how I stay within my own faith,
Hmm.
and that I encourage them to also always stay within theirs.
Yeah.
Never be swayed. Do your own research. Follow your own heart guide, your own soul.
Hmm.
And I also remind them too, I believe in free will. and God's
Yes.
will. And to me, no one knows God's will but God, even the angels, unless he allows it. That's my big thing. And I always joke and say, because you think about it, he may not even tell these angels certain things because look what Lucifer did. I mean, not to bring up religion, but I mean, come on. So
Yeah.
that's what I do. I make sure that they fully understand, and I will always what I call check my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning when we are in a session. I had one just a few moments ago. The lady was very upset. I always have to stop and check and say, are you okay? Because I never want to push things too far.
Yeah.
We're not there to upset or to bring back negative thoughts, emotions, or memories.
Yes.
We're there to bring as much peace as we can into, I believe,
Yes.
to this place, because this is a place we're never going to fully find it. But you see what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's my goal. That's my goal, I guess.
Yeah. So do you, because I've had this question a lot too, do you share everything that comes through? And for me, I kind of have to decide, kind of like you said, I always check in, and I'm never going to hold back what I say, but I might word it in a way that I know might be more beneficial to how they are feeling in that moment. I don't ever sugarcoat anything, but I always try to word it in a very positive and trauma sensitive
Yes.
way. I think that's really important how you word things. Again, not to sugarcoat, not to gatekeep or anything like that, because that's not how I work. I always feel like I am to share what's always coming through, but I feel like it really is up to me and my responsibility to share it appropriately.
It is.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. But I always tell people this before I even start a session. I always ask, before I even open that door, let me receive what is needed. And if it is something that some would consider, let's say on the negative, please give me the accessibility to the right wording.
Yes.
Everything to remind everyone. And I sound like Mary Poppins, I guess, but I truly believe that there's always a good, even in the most negative.
Yeah.
Our eyes, I look at it this way. Usually when we're in that sad, grief, or whatever, that trauma, our eyes are so filled with tears, we can't see it.
Yeah.
If I was looking at you crying my eyes out, I couldn't see pretty clear. I would just see a smoosh.
Yeah.
So we have to wait till that clears. We need windshield wipers, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also managing your emotions too, because I've had that too, where
that's hard.
Yeah. When there's been a couple of times where I've given a reading and it was really hard for me because I could feel how hard it was for the person next to me or across from me. And so, mediumship really does come with a lot of responsibility and a lot of, there's a lot of ethical work that needs to go
and
into
moral
it.
And spiritual. And people will look at you and think, oh, it's so easy. Just because we receive it easily.
Yeah.
Imagine being the bearer of not so good news all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if it is good news, it's from a trauma section of that person's life.
Yeah.
A death that you see. So it's not always easy. And I do have to block those emotions because there's been times I've had to stop mid-session. And I'm like, crap, what did I forget? What did I? But sometimes I can't anyway. I'm not saying that you can or others, but sometimes I just don't think I can fully put that shield up,
Yes. Yeah. So how do you navigate those times where you feel like that shield? Because I know you've mentioned this to me before, that because I've known for years how you are a very, very talented messenger.
Thank you.
How do you put up those boundaries with spirit, with loved ones, to say, hey, this is not the time right now. I can't I'm not in the place to receive right now or to be in that energy right now because I know it's a little bit different for you than me. I've from what you have told me before, so I'm interested to hear.
hmm Yeah, and because everybody is different.
Mhm.
I probably do not do it the correct way, but again, this is me because and I'm sure hopefully you haven't, but I'm sure you or a lot of other ones have dealt with that situation, getting woke up middle of the night
Mhm.
when you're trying to sleep. And again, I don't do it the right way because I'm me. I'm like, stop, not now, and then I will set up and I'll even wake my dogs up talking to whomever's in that, room in that spirit form. And like, I'm not on the clock, go away. I'm like, I need sleep. And then sometimes I have to get out of the bed to get away from them.
Yeah.
And then I will literally pull the covers over my head. And then I will start singing in my head until sometimes they get tired of hearing that, I guess, and go away.
Yeah.
Or I'll look up and say, oh, Lord, please, no, I am so thankful for my gift, but come on, I'm human. I just need to sleep.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I act like a brat, I guess, and say, nope, not doing it.
Yeah, I've noticed there's been like seasons of my life where it has changed for me. Sometimes
hmm
they'll come in a lot stronger. I'll feel them around me a lot more. But I've learned I really have to set boundaries, especially like at night or like when I'm not in the mood. And one thing I've really learned to do is just to be like, listen, this is my time. This is my space. I will work for you. I will work with you when the time is appropriate, but the time is not appropriate right now. So, please like leave my energy or whatever it may be. There's another lady I am friends with who is also a mentor of mine. And she does a lot of energetic practices and hygiene. And this is something she really drove home for me too, is you have to set boundaries. Because I do think sometimes our energy can be so open and that frequency can be so open that they just want to talk and they'll just come right on in.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you said that because and I'm sure you do too. I have a lot of clients. What do they want? Why am I seeing them? Why am they just want to be heard.
hmm
Please don't take every single message or dream or whatever from a loved one who's gone that it's a bad warning. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to tell me because a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And no, I mean, I know you and I'm sure we get tired. I know I do get tired of talking all day long but if we didn't have that, we would want to reach out and say, listen to me,
Yeah.
listen. I just want to say, hey. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not always a warning. Just take it and enjoy it.
Yeah. I had a friend tell me who's also a medium, and he says it's like playing a game of charades. They
Mhm.
give you signs, symbols, feelings, and you're kind of interpreting it
Yeah.
to the
Yeah,
person sitting across from you. And it really is like this three-way game of charades trying
it
to
is.
decipher what's coming through. And sometimes what I have found is spirit will work off my references and my life experience and will work that way
100%.
and show me things that I've experienced or whatever it may be. So I have a
Mhm.
better understanding of what they're trying to convey. If I don't know if
Yeah.
that works, is the same
Yeah,
for
it
you at all,
does.
but
It does because again, we're all different.
yeah.
I will see one a snippet or a vision or whatever, like a symbol. I will take that as one thing and you can
hmm
interpret it as another.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to always be the same. And I really think sometimes they like to really mess with me.
hmm
What I mean? To keep me on my toes. Because a lot of times I've learned over the years to keep like a notepad and a
hmm
pen
hmm
and I will doodle. Okay.
Yes.
And then I have to kind of, what is that? I'm like, I'm not going to, that's the other thing about it. I'm not going to ponder on it too long
hmm
because I found the longer we look at something, okay, the different it will appear, just like anything.
You
Like,
try to put
share
meaning behind it.
something.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I look at it like, aha, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can be the stupidest things and the silliest things, but, if you know me, I love humor.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got my dad's mouth, I'm always very sarcastic and I always put whatever on anything, zing. And so they give me some pretty humorous references,
Yeah.
so some I have to clean up for clients, some I don't, So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So you have done, oh my gosh, how many readings would you say? I mean, thousands at this point
Ooh,
over your lifetime or over the
I
course
guarantee,
of your reading?
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Um, just looking back, like on our Facebook page, we have like close to 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
Well, there's even on outside of that, okay, there are people, believe it or not, there are a lot of people that don't have or they're not on social media. I have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of elderly clients, and I tell you that right there, I do want to talk to you about that a little bit, something I want you to prepare for. Because over the course of time, I'm a lot older than you, but you will have clients that become very close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And a lot of mine started out not old or elderly, but they got that way. And I've lost several to
Mm.
spirit.
Yeah.
And that is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially when you feel it or they come see you.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I must call them or. And that is just in my, I can't say professional because I'm not a professional. In my work, I have done, and I'm proud to say, in country, way out of country,
I was to
from
say, I think you're a
Ireland to
professional.
Brazil. Thank you. But again, still learning.
Yeah.
We always have to stay on top of it and be guarded. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm so proud of it, all over the world, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I still have several clients like from UK and Germany. Some of them I can't understand a lick of what they're saying. And then I feel bad because then they're going back thinking, man, do all Americans talk like that? But, they enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, but I've
So,
done, I'd say at least a ton and a half,
yeah. Yeah. Because I
So, yeah.
mean, for as long as I can remember, I mean,
Mhm.
you knew my mother, but we kind of met when I was doing the horse lessons, and
Yeah.
the horse
Yes,
riding
yes,
lessons, and
yes.
then kind of we met from
Yeah.
there. But I mean, for as long as I can remember, you've been giving
Mhm.
readings, and I know you have given readings to several, you know, bigger named, I guess, clients too
Mhm.
as well, which
Yes.
is really interesting as well. So,
Mhm.
I mean, you are a pretty well-known medium, I would say, or messenger, I would say, in,
Thank
especially in
you.
the area and, all around. So
Mhm.
how have you been able to manage that visibility and, visibility on social media,
Mhm.
visibility in the, in the tri-state or the community, whatever it may be, but how are you able to manage that visibility? And has there ever been a time you've struggled with visibility?
Every day, struggling with the visibility.
Mm-hmm.
I am not as, now, especially today, we're trying to get this computer thing to work. I don't do high-tech stuff or even low-tech. Okay, they got me pushed onto a Facebook page, and my manager, Dave, he tries to keep my butt in gear and say, do video, do
Mm-hmm.
video. I'm like, I don't want to. So I don't. And then I'm like, okay. So because I know we need the exposure. Okay. But I also don't want to be exposed. And my best, and I'm all over the social media platforms now, but I'm not on there. Yeah. I've even got a YouTube channel. Oh, I piddle with a day or two. Like, no, I'm bored. So yeah. And I don't know what to say. But the
Yes.
coolest thing, I will say this, I've had to, and you'll have this happen too. The coolest thing is I had a client that I want to say from Michigan one time. Anyway, that gentleman told me, get this now, he heard about me in an airport in Chicago.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my
God is my
gosh.
witness. And I was like, oh, now you're blowing smoke. And he's like, He said, I was at the airport and he stopped. I guess some of these airports nowadays have like an airport lounge or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, it's probably not the best advice to pick up in a bar, but okay, got me some exposure. So it's okay. But yeah. And also what I feel the best is that word of mouth
Yes.
from a trusted, and whether it be through testimonials
Mm-hmm.
or however you choose to do that. But I really think it is that genuine word of mouth from
Yes.
the right people. And that is something that I encourage you to ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I always kind of put that out there. And it's like, I don't want to do this. I don't, because I know it's hard on us.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, if they need me, they'll find me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
send me the right ones.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in the right people will find you, and
Yeah.
the people that align with you and with your intentions
Your
and
energies.
yeah.
And yes.
Yep.
Yes. And if not, and we always learn from them too, just
Yes.
like we spoke of earlier. But I think exposure is important. But I've never known a true messenger, a true medium in our work that liked the exposure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because we're kind of like, it's like when you think about doing it, first thing that pops in my head, and I don't laugh, is circus freak, there she comes,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, yeah. And then I finally, it's like, you know what? Each to their own.
Yeah.
They're going
It's
to talk about you, whether you do it or not,
yeah.
and every
Yeah.
bit of it's, you're mentioned somewhere.
Yeah, it's hard. That was one of the things I struggled with the most in the beginning was telling people, because I was so afraid that people would
Yeah.
look at me and laugh at
And
something
start
that
doing
was
this.
so
Ooh,
yeah, that was so very
Yes.
natural and
Mhm.
special to me.
I
It's
agree.
it's a very sacred thing for me.
It's
I'm very
sacred. Yes, it's
yes.
sacred.
Yep, it is something that means so much to me. And
Mhm.
now I do a lot better with it. Now I'm like, well, they're going to say whatever they want to say, but I have found actually more times than not, people are really just curious and they just want to
They are.
understand. They just want to be heard. They just want to understand. And so I have found that explaining it and just being really open about it, it has helped in my experience to feel less like that, because it can feel like a performance. It can feel like you
Yes,
are
and I
yeah,
hate that.
yeah,
I don't like being on display.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
I love to do events. We had a huge one a couple weeks ago. I loved it. But at the same time, I'll be honest with you. It was 20 minutes to showtime, if you will, or whatever.
mm-hmm.
My manager is texting me, "Where are you? Where are you hiding?"
Yeah,
Yeah, because he knows me. I'm going out the door. And I did. So
yeah,
I'm hiding in another storefront going, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore.
yeah,
And I kept hearing, get your butt in there. And then here he came. Here come Dave. And he's like, let's go.
yeah,
He's like, you got this.
yeah,
This is what you're meant to do. So I always have those, so I get it.
yeah,
But even you think about it, we have to treat it as any other, I guess, work to a degree or any other profession.
yes,
And we always give others respect.
yes,
And there's nothing wrong with us asking for that back.
yes,
But I found that sometimes, if I may say, a lot of people, it's not that they disbelieve. I think they're afraid to believe.
yeah. It can be, depending on how you grew up, the programs that you have,
That's
depending
right.
on all kinds of different life experiences, it can be really, it can be scary to some people. It could be interesting to some people. It can
Well, it can be
be,
scary to us, too.
yeah, yes.
You
So
know?
I,
Yeah.
I think, because I struggled with that, not knowing and that, like the fear of the unknown kind of, but it
Mhm.
really is, I would love to bring more openness to it, just so people understand if they want to learn more, they want to be curious about it, so they can figure it out for themselves. It is something I would never push on anyone, and I would never want anyone push something on me. So
I agree.
I think the more open people are about it, the more it can invite people in to be curious if they want to be. And if they don't want anything to do with it, I think that's perfectly fine and acceptable. So yeah, that's kind
That's
of
the big word, is accepting and acceptable.
yeah.
Okay. Because we can deliver it. And that's another reason why I go with Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I hand you a newspaper, I delivered it. It's up to you to read it, to digest it, and then to apply it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we
Yes.
provide the access to it. But it's up to
Yes.
y'all what you do with it.
Yes. And if it resonates with you, great. And if it doesn't, just
If it
toss it out.
Tuck
Just
it.
toss it
Yes.
out.
And you don't know, because
Yeah.
it may come back
Yeah.
6 months, 6 years, and you're like, oh, that woman wasn't so crazy.
Yeah. I've had several
Because that's-
experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, because time is, I don't really think we're supposed to mess with time,
Mm-hmm.
nor are we supposed to give a timeline.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, oh, I feel fall. Well, my lands, how many falls is there? There's one a year. I
Mhm.
get that. But all these years, you saying it could be
Yes.
10 years.
Yeah.
You don't know because we're not supposed to, because then we would interfere with things.
I had one of my friends who's also a medium. She said that she gave, I don't remember exactly what the message was, but she gave a message to someone, and the person she gave it to was like, "That's literally never going to happen. That would never happen. This doesn't make sense." And like 5, 6 years later, they contacted her
Yeah,
and they were like, "You're not going to believe this." But,
that's right.
and I
It's like, yeah, I
also,
will.
yeah, and I also think too, it has to do with the timeline that you are on. If you receive a message and say, you didn't resonate with that message, or you didn't like it, or whatever, whatever it was.
Right.
Like if I'm the sitter or the client,
Mm-hmm.
you have the free will to change your path. That is something
Oh,
that
yeah.
I, love to share, is if I shared something with you and you're like, "Whoa, I don't like that," or "I don't want that to happen," or, whatever. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
say I see you finding a relationship or a partner of some nature and you're like, "I don't want a partner."
Mm-hmm. Right.
You can change that. Like, you can change that. It is
Exactly.
totally free will.
It
You have
is,
absolute authority.
yes,
Yeah.
100%, because it is, information that you choose to tamper with if you choose to. And when I say tamper with, I mean that in a good way.
Mhm.
Okay. You get to decide left or right,
Yes. Yes.
or straight or backwards. There's so many ways. And you can always circle back and have that option again. But again, you still have to choose. I don't care how
Yes.
many times it comes across. It's up to you.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
brilliant.
Yes. So, how would you say your relationship with yourself, your abilities, how has it changed for you over the years from when you first kind of started? I know you kind of went all in on it. I don't remember when, but you
I
were
don't
working with
either.
the horses, and then I think you
Mm-hmm.
kind of went into mediumship, but
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong on that. So correct me if I'm wrong. But how has your relationship with yourself and your work changed over the years?
Well, yeah, that's an easy but a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, what I did was I didn't want to do it. Like I said before, I didn't want to do this. I love my work, but I was not getting, um, I don't know the return.
Mm.
Okay. How do I say that? And it's not just about money. I don't want you to think what it is. You know how sometimes you do something for so long and that desire decreases.
Mm-hmm. You get
Doesn't
kind of
mean that you
burnout a
don't,
little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't like dislike the horses, but I had all these things happening. So I knew there was a change coming, and I'm very stubborn and I didn't want to do it. I learned that I have to listen and again, decide for myself. Um, I have to listen to not just myself.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have to not second guess. It's like it's kind of like I pretend it's like my daddy or whatever giving me a chore or a task.
Mm-hmm.
I can't ask why all the time. I can, but I may not get an answer.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And I can't say, now, did he mean to set the chicken out or did he mean, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I learned to also to embrace. I always loved being alone.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds, but I've learned that it's okay. And
Yeah.
I've learned to embrace that because I'm not really alone.
Yeah.
And I learned that walking away from that horse time of my life. And I thank you all the time. So I always prayed for a horse and he blessed me with, about a string of 45, in a barn. But I knew, I knew, and that's that knowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That intuition.
Yes. And when I heard it here, I was in a stall one day and it's like, your days are numbered. I was like, what does that mean? Yeah. So I started getting those allergies to horses and sawdust, and I get kicked and the trailer got pinned. And I was like, all right, I don't need more signs.
Yeah.
Because all of us get them. We don't think of them as a sign. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll
We
say,
think
oh,
of
that was
them.
an accident or that was a coincidence. Nope.
Yeah. I've noticed there's a lot of ways that God or the universe or source, things happen and you think they're they think they're it's bad or it's on purpose or against you, or
Mm-mm.
like you have bad luck all the time. I've noticed, because we all go through ebbs and flows of life. There's always going to
Yeah.
be, there's always going to be high highs and low lows. That's
Hmm.
life. That's just what
That's
it
right.
is. And I've noticed that a lot of the times I have taken things that have happened to me as like bad, or, something really awful happened to me and like I didn't understand why it happened to me.
Hmm.
But really, it's kind of what you can, the flowers that can grow from that
That's right.
bad time.
Hmm.
And, I always say that with hesitation, with reservation, because people lose loved ones, and people think,
Right.
well, how is that a good, how can I make good out of that? And I always like to say, you don't have control over someone else's life, and
Amen. That's right.
what happens.
Hmm.
That's one of the big things
Well,
I
and
like to share. Yeah.
I love that you said grow, because I really think growth is the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
With was it like song, every season, turn. Everything has a time. Everything has a season.
Yes.
Okay. And we have to nurture it and love it and grow it while that season is there.
Yes.
Okay. And we have to really you're such a brilliant, brilliant young woman.
Oh,
I just,
thank you.
I have to break for a second and tell you that,
Thank you.
because I can tell, this old woman here, I can tell that you speak not just intellectually, and just amazing, but you're speaking from here.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of those words, I'm not turning this into a reading, but a lot of those words are not Claire's. You see what I mean?
I really,
That's where we have that angel movement.
yeah. When I sit down to do anything, a reading, anything,
Hmm.
I really set the intention for whatever comes through, for it to be for the highest good of whatever I'm doing.
Always.
So I always
right.
ask for guidance from guides, universe, loved ones to
Like me,
help me.
anybody. I always anybody up there, just give me a little,
Yeah.
give me some help here, guys. And they give it to us,
Yeah.
and they will do it in the most humorous ways,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
anyway, to get through. But I agree, because I for one don't believe in luck, good or bad.
Yeah. I truly believe it's just, highs and lows, of life.
That's right, because it's all a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I've never been on a trip where I didn't find at least one bump in the road.
Yeah.
Whether it be a speed bump, press hey, slow down,
Yeah.
or just a hole. So we just have to take it and know this is not it. See, that's my purpose, to remind people that this here is not the end.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
because
always
energy just continues.
Yes. Yes. And I always like to say too, a lot, if you feel like you do have bad luck or bad things just always happen to you, I do think a lot of it also has to do with how you're constantly thinking.
Mm-hmm.
What are you constantly,
Yes.
What are you thinking? Because I do believe you are what you think. Think about yourself, and you start
Bingo.
attracting, what you're thinking. So if you believe only bad things are ever going to happen to you, well, guess what? Only bad things are ever going to happen to you, because it's that
That's
self,
right.
like creation's manifestation. So I always like to add that in too, because there's so many, there's so many things that can, you could be like are happening to you or against you. But when you kind of break it apart and kind of step out and look at everything from a different perspective, you can really start to figure out how you're thinking about something and how you can change how you're thinking about something.
I agree, because my mama always used to say, watch your words.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I never understood that when I was little.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Well, because, she says, don't speak things into existence. Okay. Because, and to me, that doesn't mean like spells and stuff. What that means is we have I think the most powerful, the strongest part of our body is the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Those words can cut you. Those words, like you were saying, or they can coddle you and make you feel loved.
Yeah.
It's all in the wording and the delivery.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you're so spot on about that.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, yeah. I'm
Well,
enjoying this so much.
yeah, I know. And I can't
It's
believe
awesome.
we're already almost to we're already almost to
I
the end.
know.
I'm almost to my last question. So let's say that you have a book that's been given to you. In the book, someone asks you to write 3 things down in the book that you could share with other mediums, anyone else that you've learned and that you would like to share with generations to come. What would be 3 things that you would share to others who maybe are looking to develop their mediumship abilities or who are just learning to grow in life and grow in, different aspects of their life?
That is an amazing question. When I'm sitting there going, I'm really, that was like really out of nowhere. I like those because
Yeah.
I'm a very spontaneous person.
Mhm.
Write things in a book. Oh gosh. Um,
And even if it's one big thing, one lesson
never,
that you would give to someone.
yeah, I honestly think never go through mediumship, spirituality, faith lightly.
Mhm.
Okay. You cherish that because like you even said, and I'm so glad you used the word sacred because I use that a lot. My mother always used to go to, isn't anything sacred? You got to keep one thing sacred. And, I choose this,
Yeah.
Because it is a gift.
Yeah.
Okay. To me is a very, important gift that should not be returned.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think we can pass it along.
Yeah.
So, like inheriting it down and down. So I think, again, keep it sacred,
Mhm.
be thankful and be grateful.
Mhm.
All right. And the other thing that I think is the most important, we're never going to understand it all,
Yeah.
at least not here.
Yes.
But my take on that is don't we all love a little bit of good mystery? Because it keeps things flowing in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Because if we knew, it would become so boring,
Yeah. Yes.
And the other, I think, is so important also to me. Remain childlike.
Yes. That's a big one.
Always.
Yeah.
As in no limits. Do you
Yeah.
understand that?
Yeah. And keep that childlike spirit about you. And
Yes, that's
and
right.
look for
Spirit never grows old, grows
Yeah.
wiser, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important that we stay because you think about children, animals.
Mhm.
To me, and I may be wrong, but this is my belief, that is the most purest, unconditional love
Mhm.
that we can ever receive. And to me, that is the reason why these animals and children at young ages can see, feel, to hear, just as us mediums do. So I
Yeah.
guess in a way, Claire, what I'm saying is this, but you ain't never grown up and neither have I. And I'm thankful for that and I don't want to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Some can call it a fantasy world, whatever, but it's real to me.
Yes. Yeah.
And claim it and be proud of it.
Wow. Allie, thank you
Yeah.
so much. I appreciate that so much. That was
thank you.
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that I was able to have you on and that we were able to do this. And
Yeah.
hopefully I
Me
can have
too.
you on, sometime again in the future.
Oh,
So
I would love it.